Today, this is a good day for education and workforce in South Carolina. We're here today to announce the award of $19.9 million from the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Funds, known as the GEER funds, to 3 state education-related entities, which is what's allowed under that federal law. First, to the Department of Social Services, be $4,913,800 for educational services and tutoring services for 600 foster care students and youth in 74 group homes. It's very important. The second, to the South Carolina Technical College System, $8 million for jobs training programs for 3,100 South Carolinians. The program is designed to get people back trained for existing high-demand jobs, focusing on jobs in healthcare, computer technology, information technology, advanced manufacturing, distribution, logistics, criminal justice, and corrections. And the third category is early childhood education, which is $7 million to provide in-person, extended, and summer programs for at-risk 4-year-olds who are eligible for Medicaid, for whose families have an annual income is 185% or less of the federal poverty level. And of that, the public school system will receive $2 million, and the First Steps program will receive $5 million. Now, Michael Leach, DSS, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Leach, Department of Social Services State Director. Thank you, Governor McMaster. The COVID-19 pandemic has drastically altered the way that in which our children learn in the state of South Carolina. While school continues in a non-traditional format, for many children and families in the state, Governor Henry McMaster and other leaders realize that the current virtual school model that many children in South Carolina currently use is not a sustainable learning environment for every child, especially a child that is in the state's foster care system with the highest level of needs. To that end, Governor McMaster has allocated GEER funding to strengthen and solidify remote learning for children and youth in our state's group home settings. Group homes across the state are responsible for assisting with the educational success of our foster children and youth placed in their facilities. This responsibility is especially heightened with the increase in virtual learning due to the pandemic. The allocated funding will assist in procuring and deploying technological devices currently to group homes to be used by children and youth in their placement setting to help meet virtual and remote educational needs, to provide funding to group homes to increase bandwidth and make their technology upgrades to accommodate the increased volume and frequency of remote barriers. This allocation will also provide funding for tutoring services for children and youth placed in group home settings. This is a need due to the number of children in each group home at varying levels of learning and understanding of education levels, as well as the challenges of remote learning and direct access to teachers, educational personnel. And finally, we will provide funding to provide additional individualized support to children and youth in foster care with special education needs and individual education plans who are placed in group home placement settings. We are incredibly grateful to Governor McMaster for this allocated funding to promote the educational achievement of children and youth in foster care placed in our group home settings, and believe that this intentional investment in their education will help close educational achievement gaps caused by the pandemic and lead to improved outcomes for their future. Thank you. I would now like to introduce and turn it over to Tim Hardy, President of the South Carolina Technical College System.
At this point, I would like to begin by thanking the Governor McMaster for his support and his vote of confidence in the South Carolina Technical College System. Our 16 colleges across the state, we cover the 46 counties in the state of South Carolina. And while we educate over 100,000 students each year, we're really in the workforce development business. Over 3,000 South Carolinians will benefit from this training program. We will take people from unemployment to a trained skill that they will now possess and then be able to move into the workforce. These will be short-term training programs that are 15 weeks or less in length that they will be made available at our 46 counties across the state through our technical college system. We look forward to being able to move these people from unemployment to a highly skilled job in the state of South Carolina, working with our various industry business partners that we have and with our 16 colleges. Again, I would just offer my thanks to the governor and his staff for the confidence they have in the South Carolina Technical College system, and we look forward to working with these individuals one at a time as we move them towards employment. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to David Mathis with the South Carolina Department of Education.
Thank you, Governor McMaster, for the announcement of this funding and inviting the Department of Education to be a part of it today. I'm David Mathis, Deputy Superintendent for the Division of College and Career Readiness at the Department of Education. The work of my division encompasses the full spectrum of pre-K to 12th grade education, but no work is more important than that of early childhood education. It is imperative that our youngest learners are prepared for success as they enter our doors as kindergartners. And it is just as imperative that our schools are prepared to meet the academic and social emotional needs of our youngest learners. High quality, free programs offered by the South Carolina Public School System and the First Step network of private providers have shown promising results of the programs that they offer and the foundation that they lay for our kindergartners and our young learners that will extend into their adult life. The funding announced today will allow these programs for our youngest learners to continue for in-person instruction during the summer as well as during extended periods during the regular school year, and combat any potential loss by COVID-19 or other circumstances beyond the control of our students or their families. The funding announcement today shows that South Carolina understands and values early childhood education, and the department looks forward to continue to work collaboratively with First Steps as we continue to expand 4K in our schools and our private providers. And at this time, I would like to introduce Georgia Miarton, the Executive Director of South Carolina First Steps.
Thank you, Governor McMaster, for your deep commitment to early childhood, to every young child in South Carolina and to their parents. This commitment makes it possible for families to return to work while their children are learning in a safe, educational First Steps 4K environment. By granting $5 million to First Steps, Governor McMaster, you are giving thousands of working parents the opportunity to return to work. The economic viability of our state depends on people being able to go back to work, and the future of our state depends on investments that we make today in our youngest citizens. With these funds at no charge, South Carolina First Steps will be able to offer every deserving 4-year-old in South Carolina more hours of learning, a bigger boost to their future success by extending the day into the after-school hours, and by continuing the program year-round through the summer months. Parents know what's best for their children, which is why the First Steps 4K program lets families of pre-K students choose the program that will work best for them. With a network of over 200 child care centers, families can choose a program near their home or their work, in a private, nonprofit, or faith-based center. If they're looking for a preschool program that operates for the whole day, 8 to 5, so they can go to work, First Steps 4K can meet that need. And thanks to this funding, if they want their child to get that extra educational boost before kindergarten, they can keep them enrolled throughout the summer months. The impact of this pandemic on our youngest citizens is yet unknown. But what we do know is this: young children need in-person learning to be ready to start school. First Steps 4K has been operating. We have been open 5 days a week in person since June 1st for thousands of young 4-year-olds across our state. We're open today for the thousands of children and parents who need us to be. We enroll year-round, and with this support today from the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund, we will be able to say yes to every deserving 4-year-old who applies to be a part of our program. It's not too late to apply for the current year, and if a family is seeing this today and they want their child to enroll today or in the summer or even next school year, the Governor has just made that possible. Thank you for your commitment to the workforce of today and to the workforce of the future.
Well, I appreciate all those thank yous, but I want to thank the taxpayers for sending the money in to make all of this possible. We've got to get people back to work. We've got to get our children into the classroom. Everybody knows that. Everyone here and everyone listening. That's where they learn. That's where they learn best. And we've got to do all we can. We are spending a lot of this money of the CARES Act. This still leaves us about $28 million that has not been allocated yet. We have till May the 21st, I believe, to do that. And also we're expecting to get some more funds, about $21 million from the Consolidated Appropriation Act that just passed the Congress. The details of that haven't been worked out. But our goal is to see to it that the parents get to work, those that need training get training. The pandemic has hit us. We had needs before the pandemic got here, and these funds, developed in consultation with those you see here, and we gave them what they asked for, will make a big step forward. So this is a good day for South Carolina, and we look forward to many more. Are there any questions? Shauna?
Thank you for the question. Today, we have over 2,000 children in the First Steps 4K program enrolled in classrooms today. And throughout the pandemic, with school closures, with public school closures, we've seen children who have transferred into our program. We do typically enroll year-round. There have been times where our numbers were into the 3,000s, and that's why this funding is so important, because it will allow more families who need a full-time workday program to be able to get that need met while their children are in a high-quality educational program.
So this will push it back to 3,000?
Our hope is that more families will be able to be a part of this, but even right now, the families that are a part of this program, when they can only be enrolled until 2:30, it's very difficult for them to work a full-time job. So with this extended day investment, as well as summer, it really allows people to have a job throughout the year and to make that workforce commitment that they need to support their families. Because again, we're talking about low-income families, and these are by and large working parents.
More questions?
Yeah, we're talking about why you allocated these particular groups. And obviously, you get this group a little bit of break need or overlooked oftentimes in pre-K. Talk about that. You're covering all these. How did you decide on where the money needs to go on?
Well, it was with collaboration, communication, and cooperation with those people you see here and others. We asked them what they needed, what would make a difference, and that's how we made the decision. There's some funds left. We're taking it one step at a time. We believe in measure twice, cut once. We want to put the money where it'll do the most good, but we know that we have to have, the children have to be in the classroom in order to learn. We know that. And a lot of them, if they're not in the classroom learning, the parents can't go to work. And there are a lot of parents, because of the pandemic and other reasons, that don't have jobs anymore. So that's why we're taking this approach with the technical college, with the 4K, and taking this approach that we are. Go ahead.
Sure. We anticipate this to be a lot of training that will be in healthcare, IT, advanced manufacturing, criminal justice, programs like that where there are shortages right now in the state of South Carolina, that we will offer these programs throughout the state for citizens to be able to take advantage of. We anticipate approximately $2,500 available for just over 3,000 people, which is the $8 million that the governor's decided to appropriate to the technical college system. But those will be for high-demand jobs that are currently in the state of South Carolina. What we anticipate with this is to operate it through our continuing education programs across the state, which those are programs that we already serve about 100,000 students through credit programs across the state. These are continuing education programs that we offer in all 16 colleges, but those are the areas that we'll be focusing on.
And another point to observe there is that having this money at the technical colleges wouldn't be useful unless the businesses, the manufacturers, and the others around the state had confidence that the technical college could do this job. And that's the place where we are ahead of, I think, anyone else in the country with our terrific technical college system, which is a vital part of our higher education system.
With as many people as we've had put out of work by the pandemic, how did you arrive at the 3,100 number? Why not a greater number in terms of training jobs?
We felt like that was a reasonable number to be able to ask for funding for the governor. He anticipated that there would be additional funds available in the future. I'm sure he will be looking at our results for using the dollars that he's appropriated today for us to be able to make some decisions about the future. We anticipate offering these programs as early as in this particular month to be able to roll it out as quickly as possible to serve those people that are currently unemployed. So this will not be something that we'll be waiting until next fall. We will start immediately with being able to offer these programs across the state.
More questions? Thank you. Yes, sir.
$28 million. Do you have any indication which direction you may go in spending that? And also that historically black college and university money that got set aside as part of the Supreme Court decision, have you made any decision whether you're trying to get that back to you?
We are communicating, collaborating, and cooperating with a lot of different people and places to decide what is the best thing, the most effective thing to do with those funds. And we'll be making those decisions and announcing them as we go along. Yes, ma'am.
Last year, I think at the last COVID press conference, when you were expressing your disappointment after the Supreme Court's decision, you mentioned that it would be your suggestion that some of these private colleges look at potentially legal challenges with this money. Are you still suggesting that, and are you aware of it?
No, that's up to them. We are disappointed in that decision and don't agree with it. Nevertheless, that is the decision. And there are other programs in the state that mirror what we were attempting to set up then. We think that they're all sound, and we look forward to educating these young people. More questions? Got a lot of good answers up here before we leave.
How many foster children do we have in the system?
So we have a total of, as of today, we have 3,933 children and youth in foster care. About 575 are currently in group home settings, so that's about 14.6% of children and youth, and 85% of those are in family-like settings, foster homes, kinship care.
If people watching are interested in participating in any of these programs or utilizing these assets, how would they go about that?
Yeah, we are always in need of foster parents across the state, especially for sibling groups and teens. We have about 33% of our youth in foster care are teenagers, and we're always looking for family-like settings, homes that are going to care, support, provide independent living skills, and really guide them towards a stronger future. So on our website, we have all that information as far as where to go and how to become a foster parent.
But I mean specifically to the training programs and different things now that money is a part of the program, people have to be able to access it.
So I can answer that for First Steps 4K. We have a website that's live for families to enroll. It's active right now, and it's called free4ksc.org. So the whole application is live. And again, we have over 200 child care centers families can pick a child care center, whether it's a faith-based center, whether it's in a private school, whether it's in a nonprofit, a private child care. So that's completely up to the family to make that decision. And we have availability, and we'll have increased availability because of these funds. So it's available today. Our school started back on Monday of this week after the winter break, so we encourage families to apply today.
Thank you very
We will be working with our group homes in the next couple weeks to figure out how we're going to provide that money and get the technological, the devices in their hands and the extra bandwidth and tutoring.
And we'll be working with the school districts that have the 4K students who are currently enrolled to extend their day and extend the summer program for those who are currently enrolled. So we'll be communicating that to school districts who will contact parents.
Governor McMaster, before you go, if you could share how you're feeling now after your COVID-19 vaccine.
Feel like Superman. Feel great. She's fine. I got really just a little tired for a few days, and there's if your doctor prescribed it, you can have that infusion, which they can give to you if you're not real sick. If you're real sick, it's too late. And I did that at Lexington Hospital. They were very nice to me out there. But Peggy never had any symptoms at all, so she's glad to be out, and so am I. But we feel just fine. And little Mac is fine, as far as we know. Ma'am? Yes.